Hello students, welcome to all of you Shiksha 360 JAP classes. Today basically we will discuss regarding the Indian economy, chapter 6 for all subjects and detailed syllabus discussion along with the MCQ. You can mail on our email ID or you can subscribe our course. Just one time payment and you can go through the course. If you regularly attend our session, definitely you will clear the exam in first attempt. So now let's start our discussion. What we will cover? We will cover theory along with the questions so that you are able to understand what type of question they will ask in the examinations. So let's start our discussion. That is chapter number 6, globalization impact on India. First of all, we will discuss regarding the globalization. After that, we will discuss regarding what is the impact on India regarding that. So now let's start in globalization. So what is globalization? Kindly try to understand all these words very properly because you will see that many of the questions directly from the straightforward from these lines you will find in the examination or we will also cover here. So globalization. What is globalization? Basically it is defined as a rise in economic integration among the nations. Integration, basically we can say that unity like. So it is defined as a rise in economic integration among nations. Clear? What is which integration? That is economic integration. Kindly remember this first word, that is economic integration among the nations. The concept of globalization, basically it is an ancient one dating back to the 18th century. The World War I, Great Depression of 1929, 1929, and the World War II forced a retreat from globalization and several trade obstacles were raised. Like we can say that many of the countries basically fight with each other, so we cannot carry our business with these countries. However, in the mid 1980s, a new organization, basically that is the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development. Kindly remember this full form, that is OECD, Economic for Cooperation, organization basically for what? That is for economic cooperation and development. Popularized the term yet again, that is globalization. What it says that globalization basically it is described by the World Trade Organization as the development towards unrestricted cross-border flows of goods and services. Services, what is the meaning of that? Like we can do job in other countries also. Okay. So globalization, it is described by the World Trade Organization as the development towards unrestricted cross-border flows of goods and services, capital and labor force. The concept was formally introduced in India. And when this was introduced basically in India under the new economic policy in 1991, 1992. Okay, so kindly remember that. And this policy, it is to be known as in India, that is LPG policy. LPG policy, that is liberalization, privatization, and globalization. This policy was launched by PV Narasimha government. Clear? This policy was launched by PV Narasimha government. At that time, finance minister was Sardar Mohan Singh ji. Okay, so kindly remember all these things for the knowledge purpose also. So now we will move towards the next theory portion. Before that, we will discuss one question. A globalization, it is defined as a rise in dash among the nation, economic integration, political integration, spiritual integration, wealth integration. I think all of you are very well aware what is the answer. Correct answer is option number A, that is economic integration. Okay. So from here also you are able to understand what are the type of questions they will ask in the examination. Okay. We will discuss 15 to 20 questions in our group also. First of all, you have to go through all these points very well. After the theory, we will discuss the question there also. So which organization popularized the globalization concept in mid 1980s? Okay, basically due to the World War II, World War I and Great Depression, the globalization concept little bit goes down. But after that, it will again rise. Basically, which organization helps say that is OECD. This organization, that is Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development. So option number B will be the answer, not UB, not IMF, not ECB. Clear? So option number B will be the answer here. Okay. Hope all of you are able to understand all these points. Now move to the next one. When did the Indian government decide to waive foreign investments and trade restriction, that is LPG policy, which we have already covered under the first slide, that is basically when in the year 1991. This one, 1991, 1992. Okay. 1991, 1992. We can say that this one. Okay. Now move to the next one. So globalization further. So the term globalization and its advocacy. So the term globalization here refers to the increasing interconnectedness of the world economics, culture, and inhabitants. Clear? What is that? Increasing refers to the increasing interconnectedness of the world economics, culture, and inhabitants as a result of cross-border trade. Regarding basically what it helps here, that is cross-border trade in goods and services, technology, and flows of investment, people, and knowledge. Clear? So kindly remember all these things here. That is the term globalization basically refers to the increasing interconnectedness of the world economics, culture, and inhabitants as a result of cross-border trade in the goods and services, technology, and flows of investment, people, and knowledge here. There is a strong evidence from nations of all sizes and locations that when countries globalize, their citizens globalize, we can say that basically when countries have relations with the other countries, basically when one country, like we can say that basically in a society, when we have relations with our neighbors, so it will benefit us also. Similarly here, there is strong evidence from nations of all sizes and location that when countries globalize, their citizens benefit from more exposure to a broader range of goods and services. Like we will get goods from other countries also. Further, that is reduced cost, more and better paying employment. Like we will move towards to the other countries also. Like many of the Indians, we can say that move to the European countries or other foreign countries also for in the search of work. More and better paying employment, improved health, and higher overall living standards. Investment, the proliferation of technology, proliferation that is rapid growth of technology, robust institutions, effective macroeconomic policies, educated workforce, and the presence of a market economy are some of the reasons for globalization's wider acceptance. The phrase is also used. What is that? That phrase, that is globalization. The phrase is also used to describe the movement of people and information. People here, that is labor, and information basically that is technology across the international borders. Globalization basically further has also large cultural, political, and environmental implications. Clear? Large political, cultural, and environmental implications to be here. Now move to the next point. So which among the following it is not a benefit of globalization? Technology transfer, that's this one. Job creation, yes. Political stability, no. Economic development, this one it is also. So option number C will be the answer. It will not lead to the political stability. Okay, globalization. Rest all three are the benefits of the globalization. Now move to the next point. Proponents of globalization. So here one word, many of are not able to understand. What is the meaning of here? That is word proponents. So now let's discuss what is the meaning of the word proponent. Proponent basically that is a person who supports an idea or a course of action. Clear? So what is proponent? Proponent basically it is a something. Proponent that is basically of something, that is a person who supports any idea or the course of action. So now that is proponents of globalization, that is person who believes in the word globalization. So proponents of globalization. believe that it helps developing countries to catch up to developed ones. That is who that the countries which are already developed to catch those countries. Clear? That is, it helps developing countries to catch up to developed ones through increased manufacturing. How basically we have to catch up, or we can maintain our balance, or we can reach up to those countries. Basically, how? Through increased manufacturing, diversification, economic development, and higher living standards. Cross-border investment and technology transfer brings job also. Clear? That is cross-border investment. That is other countries, companies invest in our country, like this one. Okay. Like we can say that, like in other countries invest in India, foreign direct investment, like this one. Okay. So cross-border investment, technology transfer brings jobs. Trade initiatives promote cross-border trade by reducing supply side and trade-related barriers. Globalization has also enhanced social justice on a worldwide basis, with activists reporting that it has drawn attention to human rights issues that would otherwise have gone unnoticed on a vast scale. Clear? That would otherwise have gone unnoticed on a vast scale. Okay. So now move further. Globalization and its impact on India. Clear? What is the impact of globalization on India? So the advent of globalization caused significant changes in the Indian economics, economic policy. Significant changes basically in the way economic policy, production, and consumer behavior. Globalization basically further has an influence on its culture as well. The entry and expansion of foreign investment in various areas. Clear? The entry and expansion of foreign investment in various areas propelled the Indian economics development even further. Following the 1991 reforms, the average growth rate of the Indian economy was much higher than in the prior decades. Exports were regarded as a growth engine. Export, that is, we are sending our inbuilt material to the other countries. That is export. Exports were regarded as a growth engine, and many new technologies were implemented, which boosted productivity in the long term. Effects of globalization. What is the effect of globalization? Positive and negative, both are the effects. So we will discuss that. Is effect of globalization include increased per capita income, better employment opportunities, and far more options for the customers. Globalization further opened up new options for the agriculture exports. It prompted India to consider mobilizing large investments in the sector for farm mechanism and commercial farming to compete in the global market with Indian agricultural goods. Clear? To compete in the global market, basically with whom? With Indian cultural goods. Now move next point. Fair globalization and the need for policy framework. Okay, so in this session we will discuss up to this much point. It is a short session, and basically chapter is very short, but we will cover even in the two parts. In the next part we will discuss regarding the fair globalization and some other questions regarding the globalization in a reverse gear, that is threatened re-emergence of protection. And what is protection has three main forms. We will discuss regarding that in detail. All these things we will cover along with 7 to 8 more questions, and definitely I will give you the guarantee that is whatever we have discussed here you will find in the examination straightforward questions. Okay, we will cover many more questions in the group along with the theory and discussion. So thanks to all of you for joining this discussion, and I request to all of you, please share this video with your friends also if you like the content. So thanks to all of you for joining this discussion.